Well, it's time for another edition of Schaefer Says. Got John Schaefer with me again. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
All right, springtime. People are starting to want to get out to the lakes and everything. Boats.
Boats. It's that time of year.
You need to protect yourself and your boat.
That's right. So we're going to talk about boat insurance today.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. So what does boat insurance cover? So property damage. So if your boat, you hit a log, you knock a hole in it, then that's going to be covered. Collision damage. If two boats collide with each other. That's why you need insurance. Hit those submerged stumps. Bodily injury liability. If somebody's on your boat and you beach it and they get thrown out, you want that coverage for that bodily injury to help pay for those bills for them being injured.
Right.
Hull coverage. If you knock a hole in the bottom of your boat, you want that covered.
You know, talking to friends of mine who have worked on lakes,
Yeah.
you may not think, that's not going to happen to me.
Yeah.
Every one of those it happens very easily, very quickly, even to the best of boat operators.
And a couple of things also too that I want to add to the boat insurance coverage. We've also got Propulsion Plus, which covers if you run your boat up on some gravel, it helps cover your lower unit. And so that's some added protection too on that endorsement.
And that's another thing that can happen very easily.
Yeah.
We got a lot of things under the water here in the Ozarks.
That's right. So
okay.
What's the best kind of boat insurance? So what we try to do here at the Resource Center is customize it, depending on what type of boat you have. You know, we want to make sure that you have the right coverage, especially if you've got a bass boat with $10,000 grafts on there.
Oh yeah.
We want to cover those grafts because if not, they're not covered. We got agreed value versus cash value. So if you buy a new boat, for the newer bass boats are $100,000. We want to do agreed value for $100,000, not actual cash value, which we get the reduction cost.
Right.
If you total it out or sink it.
It's how you get another boat back in the event of your boat's gone.
Yeah, and boats are even way more expensive than they were 5 years ago. Just like automobiles.
Now you've got get discounts. Is insurance for boats like for cars and for homes and things like that where discounts are concerned?
Yeah, so you can get some extra discounts. One thing, you take a boater safety course. So that's a big discount. There's also discounts as far as, you know, in the state of Missouri, you've got to be born after 1983 to drive a boat and take a test.
Yeah.
So you have to have that boater's license. So that's another, you know, it kind of goes hand in hand with that boater safety test.
Well, I would assume different discounts for different sizes of boat. I mean, if you have a cabin cruiser, there are things you can have on it versus, you know, a John boat that you're going fishing in.
And then certain size of boats, you have to have a captain's license. So usually if you get over 42 foot on more of those vessels, you have to have that captain's license.
And if you're carrying people around, especially.
Correct. Yeah, showboating in Branson here.
All right. There. Cost. Yeah, that's something that everybody goes, ooh, but what is the cost if you don't have it?
Yeah, correct. So basically it depends. The cost goes on a boat as far as the length of the boat and also the value of the boat. So, you know, you've got an 18-foot boat, you know, up to a 27-foot boat, you know, bass boats or bow rider boats are all different prices.
Right.
So it's really based on the price of the boat, you know, as far as the year, the make, you know, what size of motor it has, that determines the price too.
Sure, and type of boat, if you've got a cabin cruiser, you have a lot more property that's involved there.
That's right.
Inside the boat.
Inside the boat, yeah, as far as personal property.
All right.
So what we do as agents is, how diligent your agent is really looking at as far as like what you're insuring. So if you've got a cabin cruiser, you've got beds in there, furniture, all that stuff, we want to add that to it. If you have a bass boat, you've got fishing rods, tackle, the grafts that are up to $10,000 on these new grafts.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is ask a lot of questions to that client and make sure that we're insuring it the best that we can.
Well, that was one of the first things that you mentioned also, which is to customize.
Right.
And that's what you help people through when you're talking about insuring their boat, because the worst thing is to find out, I have full coverage, except for that.
That's right.
And that's where you help people through that whole idea of making sure you're insured properly.
That's right. And that's why, you know, sometimes I feel like I maybe ask too much questions, but you can't ever ask too many questions to make sure that you're fully insured. We don't want to mishap and that we miss something.
All right.
So
people want to get in touch, there's your QR code, and of course people can always call you here.
That's right. So feel free to call us, skew the QR code, and we'll get you taken care of on those boats. Have a happy and safe summer.
That's what Schaefer says.